Here you can see the new parts that I just got from PCB Way. As you can see, I've already test fitted them. There's a little bit of grease on them. They came in looking really good. I'm quite impressed. This here is the coupler that'll attach the input shaft on the transmission to the output on the motor. It looks good. It's made out of just a alloyed steel. I'm amazed they were able to make this, honestly. The local machine shops all told me it couldn't be done with the tooling they had, but I contacted PCB Way. I went back and forth a little bit with the engineers as they were figuring out my really poor quality AutoCAD files, but all in all, they were able to figure out how to get it done, and the price wasn't bad. All the parts here ended up costing me $250, including priority shipping. You can see the parts on the right are the plastic ones that were the prototypes for this. The only thing I didn't take into account that I should have, but doesn't seem to cause any issues, is that when you 3D print a part, technically the plastic shrinks just slightly, so it's about a fraction of a percent uh, bigger on the metal parts than the plastic, but that actually just made what was an overly snug fit into a really nice fit. So I don't think I created any issues, but it is something to keep in mind when you're engineering things like this, because I didn't think of that. The plate on the left is made out of 10 millimeter aluminum that was laser cut. They did a really good job on that. Came out nice. It's strong. I actually have two of those parts made. I'll have to stack them to get the thickness I need for the motor input shaft. Speaking of which, here you can see them stacked and attached to the motor with bolts. I had to make sure that the bolts don't extend through into the moving areas in the inside of the motor, but the bolts are the correct length here. Here we're test fitting the input shaft here. It fits perfectly onto the keyway, no issues. They gave a nice bevel to that edge, so that works really good. The fit here is snug. There's little to no play in there, so it shouldn't cause any issues. I don't want to have any clunks or bangs that's going to mess up anything in the transmission, so it should have just a good solid fit here. And here we're test fitting on the other end. I'm going to slide it all the way onto the input shaft for the transmission. Again, the same thing. It goes on snug. There's no issues with fit. There's a tiny amount of play, but it's actually hard to tell what's play in just the transmission, being a 40-year-old transmission, and what's play in the part that I made. It seems like overall it's a good fit. It is exceedingly difficult to put a part on with one hand and hold a camera with the other hand. Obviously, I wasn't able to record myself putting the motor in, but amazingly, it's also really easy to put in with one hand and put the bolts in with the other. Wouldn't try doing that with a gas engine, so if this works, it'll be a real easy project to work on in the future. So the next steps are going to be to do all the wiring for the Kelly controller so that it's ready. I also need to devise a mount to hold the transmission up on the front end that attaches to the existing motor mounts. Then it should be ready once it gets a large enough battery to actually do preliminary testing and take it on a road.